But the biggest news is obviously EA. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about EA. We talked about this on the pod as well. But that was the speculation because the official announcement was not out yet that EA decided to sell. So now we can talk about it a little bit more. That is confirmed. We can definitely talk about it a little bit more. Not as confirmed. So, biggest news in gaming right now, outside of Ghost of Yotai coming or Yotai coming, this Friday, EA announces 55 Billy run, 55 Bs, and going private. I mean that's a huge number, historical number. I mean it's EA. We've been talking about the possibility of EA wanting to sell for a while now, especially since it seemed like Microsoft was gobbling everybody up. So it finally, became official. We really didn't hear anything for a while, and then all of a sudden, the stock started going up for EA because they heard rumblings. People heard rumblings of them wanting to go private, and sure enough, it did happen. So normally, again, I wouldn't care that much outside of, again, if Microsoft or Sony were the ones trying to buy EA. But this one is particularly interesting because Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund is a part of this deal, okay? That is the real reason why people are rating, like they got their tinfoil hats on right now because we don't know what will be the future of EA. If you weren't aware, it's actually interesting because Saudi Arabia, again, it's another group, another entity that I feel like everybody should really be looking out for as far as their power and their control, not only in the video game industry, but just period. Saudi Arabia is doing a lot of stuff right now. Apparently, they're heavily invested into video games because not only did this happen, but they also have stock in Evo, which is the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. So now they have stake in that as well. And that was kind of like the first thing that was like, what? Like, why Saudi Arabia? What do they have to do with Evo? Like, it's very interesting. So that's another major part of entertainment. But again, that's a niche. So, and I mean, the fighting game community was kind of like, but I think that was just a small point, a small placeholder for what they were trying to do, which is this one as a major as far as video games are concerned. So now this happened. Right? Saudi Arabia has a golf league. They're bringing out like a star-studded cast of comedians now to perform. They have UFC events all the time now, boxing events. So they're doing a lot in entertainment. Wrestling now, the WWE, obviously, UFC, you're going to have WWE involved in that now. So they're doing a lot in the entertainment industry, and now video games are a major part of that whole pie. Well, Saudi Arabia, again, they have heavy human laws. They still do not really see women as like full humans. There's still places that women can't go. Obviously, women have to cover up. So there are still a lot of human rights things that people are worried about. So it's heavy censorship over there in Saudi Arabia. They got tons of money, but it's still a human rights issue that has people kind of like, we don't know what's going to happen here, right? What's good, Blizzy? Yeah, I'm good. Kids are good. So, to fully read this article here, so the terms of the agreement state that the consortium will acquire 100%. Like, this ain't no majority stake, 100%. So, yeah, with stockholders receiving $210 per share in cash, which represents a 25% premium of EA's unaffected share price at $168 at market close on the 25th. So, a statement from EA says that PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners bring deep sector experience, committed capital, and global portfolios that will offer unique possibilities to blend physical and digital experiences. While the sale represents the largest all cash sponsored. Take private investment in history. So that is major. All cash. All cash. Andrew Wilson, chairman and CEO of EA, who apparently will still be the CEO, at least for a little bit, unless, they decide to go another path. But Andrew Wilson is going to remain the CEO, at least for now. He said the deal was a powerful recognition of the remarkable work delivered by EA's passionate teams, and the company will continue to push the boundaries of entertainment, sports, technology, and unlocking new opportunities. What are those new opportunities, you might ask? Well, we don't know. We don't know yet. People are already afraid because Battlefield 6 is on the horizon literally next week. So people already started to have questions about that. I think it's way too early for anybody to come in and be like, hey, like whatever's going on in that military game, cut it out. So I don't think Battlefield 6 will be touched. I think it's safe to say Battlefield 6 won't be touched. But going forward, we don't know what will happen. I think the main thing that gamers are concerned about are a couple of things. One is heavy censorship, because now that the previous owners don't own EA anymore, but who knows what won't be in the next EA title, and that could also end up being some games just get canned, period, or they get outright banned in certain sectors. We don't know. People were speculating that The Sims might be targeted. I don't know about that, but we shall see. And that leads me to my second point: games that just might outright get canceled, or games that will not get the same amount of love, the same amount of cooking in the oven before they come out. My fear is not really that. My fear is, even though Saudi Arabia clearly has a lot of money, if you're spending $55 billion on a video game company, but my fear is there are going to be even more microtransactions. That is my fear. What up, Flash? What up, Ash? I see you. So that is my major fear. There are already transactions out the wazoo in two major players, which is Madden and FIFA. But just imagine if those same microtransaction practices are in every single video game the EA puts out. I just don't know, man. That is my major fear, that it's just going to be all these games are going to be huge ads, huge walking ads. And that's just a huge no-no for any video game, in my opinion. Like, we don't need all of that fluff in our video games. So it's like, okay, I get it. You're trying to make more money, but how much money is too much money? I don't know. So I'm hoping that those business practices don't come about. Obviously, I will be upset if games get censored heavily, or if games don't come out, or if they come out unfinished, because those are obviously like some of the main 2 points. But my major fear personally is that any game that comes out is just going to have real heavy microtransactions akin to a Madden or a FIFA. So that's that. I just don't know. We will see for sure. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe Saudi Arabia was like, hey, even though we bought this company, we're just looking for a profit. We're looking for ROI. All the other studios that are underneath EA, do whatever you want to do. We don't care. It could be that. That could be a scenario. Is it a likely scenario? My opinion, no. But it is a low possibility. It could happen, but again, my thoughts are saying no. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that we are going to see some significant changes within the EA ecosystem, but again, we shall see. What happened with the Iron Man game is a great question. We have not heard anything about it. Who knows? It might get canceled further down the line. We don't know yet. The Black Panther game already got canceled. So, I am not as optimistic about further Marvel games. I don't know. But leaning to the second thing, it's on the, it's a Grump to celebrate it. What to see EA go low to the buyer. But leaning to the second thing, again, is anybody surprised? Because EA has already, we reported on this, we talked about it on the previous podcast, but we talked about EA using AI, and they were wanting to use AI to capture previous voice actors' voices to use them in future video games as assets. So, lo and behold, now this news comes out and says that new EA owners, again, Saudi Arabia, is hoping that AI will cut costs and boost profits. Um, while I don't have a strong opinion on AI. I think the AI can help in certain ways. I just do not want to see a world where AI is being used almost exclusively for creative arts. I think that AI can be used in other ways, but I don't want AI to be heavily used or exclusively used for creative arts like making video games. And this is the route that unfortunately I see, pretty much every aspect of technology going down. And I think it's inevitable, unfortunately, but I just don't want to see AI just outright doing the work for these talented developers and these talented publishers. That's just a word I'm not trying to see. But it looks like we're going to go down this path because everybody's talking about AI. Microsoft's talking about AI. Google's talking about AI. Facebook and Meta is talking about AI. Everybody's talking about AI. And I've heard multiple statements from various people in the video game industry talking about AI, shortening the work and ultimately cutting the cost. And when they talk about cutting the cost, who gets affected? Who gets affected every single time? It's the humans, it's us, because where else are you cutting the cost at? You're not you're not necessarily cutting the cost in resources, aka labor, the labor that it takes. Instead of turning out a game in 5 years, you're turning out a game in 2.5. Usually they're not thinking in that fashion. They're thinking about, all right, we're going to use AI to do your job, human A, and we're going to get rid of you, and we're going to cut your salary and your benefits, that cost. They're not thinking about what I mentioned before. So that's what I really fear. The AI is just going to, they take your job. They're going to take everybody's job, bro. They're literally going to take everybody's job. So let's read this article and see if we can get any more insight. EA's new owners are banking big on AI in the future for the company. According to a new report by the Financial Times, the ownership group is betting on AI being able to significantly cut EA's operational costs. Per the report, this enhanced use of AI will be used as a way to also boost EA's profits in the coming years. This will allow the new owners to manage a large debt load on the company that historically carried limited net debt. So again, what I'm saying, you don't have to fully understand what that that sentence means, but they're saying that EA has some debt, which at majority of the time it's people. Maybe it's people who they feel aren't doing the work that they're getting paid for, or again, you're not putting out the work in the time period that they want you to. That's usually what that means there. On Monday, it was announced that EA sold for $55 billion. This deal will see the company take private. Yeah. So that's pretty much it here. Let me see if there's anything else in this article here that they have cited. Financial Times. And you're going to make me pay for it, aren't you? You're going to make me pay for it. Look at that. Let me see. Do I have it on here? Yeah, I should. Let's see. Where are you? Come on, man. Stop doing it. We ain't paying over here, buddy. Y'all still gonna get me, huh? Y'all still gonna get me. Let me go, man. Let me go. Let me cook. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Let's see. Let's see if this said anything else. Let's see if it said anything else. Say AI is already widely used across Silicon Valley, of course, as tech bro capital of the world, to accelerate many kinds of computer programming and game development. Can be used to replace voice actors. What did I just say? What did I just say? AI can be used to replace voice actors. Isn't this what voice actors fought for? Because they knew this was happening and it wasn't in any of their current contracts. The language was not in there, and that's what they fought for. That's what they striked over. They need to include that language in the contracts. So, like I said, this is exactly what EA has been trying to do, and that is inevitably what they will do. So he said not only will it replace voice actors and create backdrops and other assets, as well as automating play testing to avoid bugs before release. And again, that's what we have the QA team for, right? Obviously, sometimes they miss things, but that's what the QA team is for. But some believe the technology may soon be able to go much further in creating more realistic and responsive characters or adapting storylines to players' personal preference. The investors are betting the AI-based costs will significantly boost EA's profits. Again, of course you do. Of course you do, because that's all you care about is money. Exactly what I said. I was like, they're doing this to make more money, man. At the end of the day, they're doing this to make more money. Let's see. Dang, hold on, man. Kushner had a. Oh man, not Kushner, bro. We really, man, we had some American politics that was in this deal. God dang it. It said played an instrumental role in getting the deal over the line. He and Egon Durbin, co-chief of Silver Lake, began studying a possible takeover earlier this year. Damn, they were baking this in the oven, y'all. People said that Kushner was keen to getting PIF interested in participating. See, man, see. That I didn't know all that now. See, now you got politics into this. So now we were talking to Saudi Arabia and getting them interest. Like, hey, man, over there, man, y'all can take over, put on their money by EA. See, now y'all getting politics involved in video games some more. I don't like that. He said he set up an investment firm, Affinity Partners, after leaving the White House following Trump's first term, and PIF is a large investor in Kushner's fund. Dog, all this stuff happened in the background, bro. All this stuff happened in the background. People close to the discussion said Kushner's involvement would also ease the deal's path through the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., which adjudicates on deals involving foreign buyers. Durbin said EA was an attractive target because of its premier sports franchise, with accelerating revenue growth and strong and scaling free cash flow. So basically saying that Madden and FIFA is unlimited cash, bro. Unlimited cash. He added that Wilson had doubled revenue and driven a 5-fold increase in market cap during his tenure. The PIF has bold plans to deploy up to $70 billion a year in capital generated from Saudi Arabia's oil wealth in sectors such as technology and real estate. And PIF also said they also own stakes in Nintendo and Take-Two. This is what I'm saying, bro. Saudi Arabia is coming for everything. You already have Tencent, which is China-based. They already have a stake in everything. Saudi Arabia's, they're trying to be number 2, clearly, and might even make a push to be number 1. I don't think you're going to be able to catch up to Tencent, but at some point, when do we say, as not only as America as a nation, but as the world, to stop letting Tencent and now Saudi Arabia own everything? That is not good. We do not like these conglomerates, bro. Why do we need conglomerates? Why do y'all want to own everything? Because y'all want to control everything. That's what's the most scary thing about this, bro. That's the most scary thing about this. Saudi Arabia wants to own everything. Apparently, we're helping them. We helped them with this deal. Tencent owns everything, damn near. I don't like this, man. I do not like this. Yeah, this is about to be. I don't know. Definitely does not sit well with me. Does not sit well with me, man. But well, it happened. EA is sold, so we'll see what happens, man. Will EA tank? If Saudi Arabia has anything to do with it, they won't. They're, like I said, they're going to push more and more microtransactions. That's going to be my fear. Or more live service games. We'll see. they're banking on AI, so we'll see what kind of slop ends up happening if they, put their full investment into that. Excuse me, and start using AI in every aspect of every video game that gets created under their umbrella. So we'll see. And then final bit of news, which is also AI related. Over 50% of Japanese game devs are using AI. Over 50%. Dang. So let's see what they're doing here. The term AI is becoming more controversial by the day. Whatever your feelings on AI game development, under report suggests that 51% of game companies in Japan are developing games using featuring some use of AI. It's becoming AI becoming more accepted by society with every passing second. The first major mainstream breakthrough arrived with ChatGPT. Yeah. So what are y'all doing exactly? So Nikkei's claims stem from a September 25 report for the Computer Entertainment Association, organizer of the Tokyo Game Show. The bulk of AI usage goes into the production of videos and images such as characters, and is used for generating stories and sentences, and programming support is also prominent. 32% of companies are using AI to develop their own game engines. Interesting. So they're using it to develop their own game engines. Eurogamer says the findings are from 54 Japanese game companies, including many industry favorites: Capcom, Konami, From Software, Square Enix, and Sega. I mean, that's the big five right there. So damn, everybody using it. I mean, if they using it, yeah, damn, that is everybody. Sheesh. Well, damn. Okay. Well, From Software makes some really good games. Sega, RGG. I mess with them. Konami, y'all trying to come back. Square Enix, y'all could be off and on. Capcom, like I said, same thing, but y'all coming up with Onimusha, I'll put the sword down. So we'll see if things in the future are still bangers, but I mean, AI, like I said, it can help. I just don't want it to fully take over like the creative mind of some of these very, very talented people that create some of our favorite franchises. That's my thing. Speaking of thoughts on that upcoming anime GTA, which is right here. I don't know. I saw a little bit of it. I was like, interesting, but I had no full feelings on it. Yeah, I have no full feelings on it, so we'll see. So yeah, like I said, AI is here to stay, and clearly, and it looks like, I mean, the majority of people that are making bangers over there in Japan are using AI. So, well, I guess we'll see.